plies. They are actually a 10-ply tire and wheel, so they run 80 pounds of pressure, maximum air pressure. We check the pressure here and set them to the data tag, which is the 80 pounds on the tire, and we check the lug nuts. The lug nuts are torqued down to 100 foot-pounds of torque, and we check them just to make sure they're set like they're supposed to be. Once a year or every 10,000 miles, whichever comes first, if the horse good to have it in, pull the tires and wheels off, have the wheel bearings repacked, and have the brakes looked at to make sure they're working and doing their job properly that way. So,
can they do that when, when we de-winterize? Can we make an appointment that day and just?
You can make an appointment to come in to have the wheel bearings and stuff repacked on the trailer and everything checked, and then when it's here for having that done, we can de-winterize it before it's done too.
Okay.
Yep. Underneath this little guy back here, he's dripping just a little bit. That's where your freshwater tank drain is right there. That's where one of the little caps just simply screws onto that to hold the freshwater tank. Yep. The two little blue lines right here is the overflow valves for your freshwater tank. So when it gets full of water, it'll run out water on the ground right there to let you know it's full. This guy here is what extends and retracts your jacks right here. You can just simply hit the extend button and they're just going to go down. You can let them down until you hit the ground. One will go a little faster usually than the other one does. So I'll go ahead and push them all the way down. When one hits the ground, if he hits faster than the other one will catch up to him and they'll put pressure at the same time.
Okay.
You just want to let these guys hit the ground basically on the ground here. And just put a little bit of pressure to them. That's all you need to do, just like that.
Okay.
And then to raise them up, you just simply push and hold the retract button here, and that brings them all the way back up. Okay. So, and then that just closes in there.
I'm still confused about the dripping. What's that?
That's the freshwater tank.
So is it supposed to drip or?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got the plug off of it, and that's why it's dripping, because it's open now.
Got it.
So yep, I've got the plug off of it.
Okay.
Sneak around my poles here. Your bumper plugs, if you squeeze the middle of your plugs, them will come out of there. It makes a great place to store sewer hose inside there.
Is there any in there? So,
Nope, it is completely empty.
all right. So
And-
that's something good.
With this kind of style plug, it's got the fine screens here that keeps the bees and anything from going in there and making their nest. Some of them have a bigger hole in the plug, and I always tell people when they've got that, before you ever take one of these out, reach up and smack the bumper a little bit if it's been sitting a while, just to make sure nobody's at home and gonna come out and bite you. You don't want to get your fingers bit. You have a carry-all rack on the back of the coach right here. Just simply pull this, the two pins here on the side, one on each side on the top here. Then you can lay this guy down. Re-pin it right there to have your carry-all rack.
Okay.
Back here on the back, by the way. The little bar here, he'll come out of here and he'll set in underneath here to help hold him up that way for travel, or once you get to a campsite that way, keep him a little more stabilized. So, on that part of him.
So that's the ladder.
Yep, this is your ladder right here. This actually lifts up, flips down. It's got a little latch to unlatch it. When it flips down, you just wheel this guy up right here. Push the little tabs, and it slides in here. And they lock in place right there. So you can climb up and down and inspect and check the roof out. It's always good to inspect and check that roof a couple times a year that way, just to make sure that there's no debris or anything up there, any causes or problems on the roof. We check the roof here, and same way we do free roof inspections here. So when you bring it in the spring or in the fall of the year for winterize, just tell the guys up there, hey, I'd like to have my roof checked. Somebody can grab up there and check the roof that way. Same way in the springtime, we could check the roof in the springtime that way to make sure everything's good that way on the roof. And it's no cost to you guys on that part of it. Then if we see anything that needs some attention, we can tell you, hey, looks like you're starting to see a little bit of cracks in some of your sealant. you need to have some sealant put on there, a little bit of a reseal done, and then that way we can get.
Walk on that?
Yep, you can walk across it and it don't hurt nothing. It's okay to walk across your roof to inspect and check it over. It's just not made and designed for you to go up there and throw your lawn chairs out and sit up there and dance and party on.
That was his goal.
Unfortunately, that's not what they're designed for. Your ladder has a 250-pound weight carrying capacity to climb up and down on the ladder that way. To get you up and down on the roof. It is prepped up here for a backup camera on the very back of it. The way the backup camera is set up and work, they are tied into the lights on the trailer. So when you are driving down the road, you turn your headlights on. That turns the camera on. The monitor plugs into your cigarette lighter in your vehicle. The camera and the monitor pair over the air. That way you can see what's behind you back here as you're driving down the road. It also helps you when you back into a campsite. That way you can see how close you're getting back here to a campsite. It's up here in the back that way. And it'll also, if somebody's standing back here, they have audio in them. Somebody directly in your campsite, they can talk normal to you instead of having to scream and holler back and forth. But if you like to scream and holler,
At 1 a.m.
Okay
Let the neighbors know what you're really made of.
Yep. Of course, these guys just push in and this just flips back up, it slides down, and your lock goes back up over here on the side and it snaps into place to hold that up. Okay. So this guy here just simply moves back up. And in all honesty, I think that guy is actually upside down. It's flipped around. I'll have to pull the pins here and I'll flip it, because this actually is what, when you lay this down.
That's what I was wondering.
Yep, because I see the bumpers. Yeah, because then this guy here can pin in here and stand up, and you've got tie down straps. Yep. I can see they took it off. Somebody's took it, they took it off, and they put it back on backwards. So yeah. So it don't take nothing to pull it out. It's just pull the pins and pick it up and turn it around. So
Okay.
on that part of it. The bumper plug also comes out on this side, just like on the other side there. Your short cord here, it is a 50 amp service cord. As you can see, I'm only plugged into a 30 amp outlet. That's something you guys might want to think about getting as an adapter to take you from 50 down to 30 amps that way. So in case you get stuck at a campsite that only has 30 amp service, you can still plug in and use it. You can power everything in the coach on a 30 amp service, but you can only run the one AC on a 30 amp service. You can't run them both. It ain't big enough outlet to handle it.
Okay.
If you're plugged into 50, like what is here, you'll be able to run everything on a 50 amp service that way without any problem at all. You can even reduce this guy down and plug into a regular 110 outlet at the house if you wanted to help charge the battery up, or turn the fridge on, let it get cold the night before a trip that way. That'll let you run everything. You just can't run your AC on the 110 outlet that way. You probably ain't gonna be able to run your microwave. It ain't gonna be big enough to run the microwave.
Just lights and
Yep.
fridge.
Light in the battery in the fridge. It'll run the fridge without any trouble that way to cool the fridge down, so it'll be good and cold, so that like if you was gonna take off on a trip, you can plug it in tonight.
Get it ready.
Get the fridge to be cold tomorrow morning. You can take everything out, throw food in the fridge that way, shut everything up, unplug, throw the cord in, and just take off and go down the road, and you'd be fine.
So, does the fridge convert from gas to electric, or it's all electric?
It goes from electric to gas, or gas to electric.
Auto?
Yep, it auto features. Yep.
Okay.
Of course, your steps just simply fold in and out.
Oh, that's nice.
You want to keep your hands in the middle. If you get your hands off the side, they are finger
They are
smashers.
gone.
Your grab handle here will go up and slide across here for travel to go against the door to help keep it closed as you're going down the road, in case anything happens and accidentally pops open. It's got a shock on the bottom of it, so you don't have to worry about it sliding against the side of the coach. And then you've got your screen door that goes across here. It slides back and forth across. So if it's a nice day. And then your yellow sticker is right over here. It's got your full vent underneath of it. Tells you the total amount of cargo to haul in the coach, which is 2,839 pounds. And it tells you what a full load of fresh water is as well.
So that 28 with the fresh water, you have to add
the fresh water to that.
that amount. Yeah.
Yep. So the 2,800 minus your fresh water
Right,
fill.
right.
Yep. So we're ready to go inside.
Okay. Yeah, you told me I could go potty with the sliders in.
Well, that's what it said. I don't see that.
So right back here on the back wall
This is the most important button.
is your light switch right here. Turns all your turns the back 4 entry lights on right here. This guy here will slide that room out there. Just simply push the button down and hold it out for getting to go out.
And this has all been inspected. These sliders are fine, and
Yep, you've got good slide seals, and the room works and seals up like he's supposed to. This other switch here does the room on this side.
You can open it in the door.
Yep. That's why the shock's on the door, to keep the going in and hitting the slide room. It's more for when you bring the slide room back in rather than taking it out.
so you don't
Just on
catch it.
Yep, so you don't catch the door and tear it out. Or with this room, once it's fully out, hold the button down just an extra couple seconds, same way when you bring it in, just to keep the 2 motors in sync. That way. You have push button lights back here on the back wall. You can push the buttons to turn the lights on either side of the sofa. And then of course your window blinds just raise up and down on the string tension. They've got foam in all the windows. They just to keep them darkened out to keep it from getting so hot on the inside of the coach that way. That, and I think they probably wanted a lot of privacy maybe. These guys here will fold and pull off of here. This will fold up and come out, and this makes a bed right here in the middle of the floor. You've got your stands on each side along with your cup holders, electrical outlets, and USB charging on both sides right there to be able to charge into.
Cool.
Of course, this guy here raises up and locks on your kitchen right here to lock up in the air to give you extra counter space. And then you have your pull out cubbies over top of your kitchen sink here. Refrigerator right here that has the on and off switch. When you first turn it on, I've got it set in auto mode right now so that it recognizes that I'm plugged into electricity or if I would be on the battery. So since I'm plugged into electricity, it's going to run on electricity to keep the refrigerator good and cold. Once I would unplug it, it'll switch over and use the battery power and your propane to keep this guy running as you're driving down the road. Just push the little button on the side here to open up to get into your freezer. On the top side right here. The startup instructions is right here as well on the bottom of the freezer. Just so you know how to turn it on and off in case something ever happens. You can push the button up here and pop this button out and run it on gas only if you wanted to, rather than having it on automatic feature. But about everybody runs them on automatic because they're going to plug them in and they'd rather use electricity instead of using their gas.
Yeah, that's right.
So you can change your drawer in the door and make it taller or shorter. Same way with the rack on the inside. This guy down here at the bottom part of the fridge, you can raise or lower them guys. The little button in here, raise it up, makes it colder, lower it down, makes it warmer inside the fridge.
Oh, okay, so it's the thermostat.
Yep, that's the
basically.
thermostat, yep. The freezer's got his own thermostat, he just gets down so cold and that's all he does. So, yep. And you have a light over top of your cooktop here along with your exhaust fan. The way these guys, just turn him on to the light mode, hit the clicker to the right, and that automatically sparks and lights this guy. The only thing that don't spark and light is your oven underneath. You have to have a long handled lighter to reach in and light the oven.
Okay.
You just simply throw your oven door down. When you throw the knob over here to pilot, you you push in to let the gas go down to the bottom. Give it about 10 seconds or so. Reach in there with your long handle lighter and strike it on the right hand side over here. Once you get your pilot light going, hold the button in just a few seconds to let the coupler get warm. Then you can let off of it and adjust your temperature.
Okay.
You have a flip-on light right here over top of your microwave, so you can shine on the microwave that way to get in and out of it easier. The glass, where did I see that?
Over there.
Is laying in here. They laid it in here just to keep it from rattling around during travel. And then all your storage drawers is in here.
Whoa.
They've even got you some tin foil.
All right. Bonus.
You got a drawer underneath here. They've got pots and pans in there.
We're ready.
You got flip open little storage up above here. And then they've got your storage in underneath here as well. And of course your bigger storage is over here on the top and the bottom. Inside this one over here is where all your light switches are and your monitor panel is located. So when I flip the kitchen light on, that's going to turn the 4 lights on over the top of the kitchen to give us you more lighting. You have a step light that goes on the outside. Your floodlight on the outside right over there that comes on the front camera of the cap. It'll come on. You have your island lights right here that comes on. Your LED awning light right here that comes on and off. And then your pantry light that comes on right here. So you can see in your pantry. And
This
then
place can glow.
And then your awning switch here to let your awning go in and out on the outside of the coach that away. Up here is the monitor panel. Push the buttons on the top side. That'll tell you how full everything is. The first one is your battery. Of course, when you're plugged in, it's always going to show that it has a full charge. Because the 110 power is going into the converter. That converter is also sending a charge down, keeping that battery charged up as you're plugged in. Your next one is your fresh tank, which he is empty right now. Then your still water is your black tank. He is empty. Gray number 1 is your kitchen island down here. Gray number 2 is your bathroom up there.
Okay.
That's what he is. So,
What's the little switches below it?
Reds.
these little switches, the first one is your water pump. So when you flip it on, it's going to show a green light right there, let you know your water pump's on. So if you're pulling out of your freshwater tank, you'll have to flip it on to get water out of the water tank. If you're hooked in the city, there's no need to ever run that guy. The next 2 switches down here is your water heater. The far right one is your electric switch. The left one is your propane switch. You can run them both at the same time or just one or the other that way. The propane will heat the water up a little faster than the electric, but the electric will maintain it when you're not using it that way.
Cool.
So like
Okay,
between
so-
showers that way, you can have the propane switch on along with your electric, so you don't have to wait in as long in between showers. So, on that part.
Okay.
Right down here on the bottom is your fuse box. Just push the button and it'll open up. All your 110 circuit breakers is over here. They're just like regular household breakers. If one trips, he just falls down, just rolling to off and then snapping back up to on. All your 12-volt circuits is over here on this side to the coach. The regular Blade automotive fuses. They're all 15 amp except for your water pump and your side room, and that's a 30 amp and a 10 amp fuse. When one of these fuses blows, there's a little red light that glows over here so you can see what fuse it is to make it a little bit easier to find and change it that way. And everything is labeled over here on the side that way, so you kind of know what fuse, if something does blow, you kind of know what fuses blow that way to know if maybe you stick a new fuse in, if it blows, you know where to start looking to see if you got a wiring issue. This little guy here is your carbon monoxide and propane detector. So if you ever have a propane leak or carbon monoxide gets high, this guy's going to go off just like your smoke detector to let you know you got a problem. You need to get out and ventilate the area that way. Shut the bottles off. Of course, your fire extinguisher is always right there by the entry door when you come in and out of the entry door. And then your smoke detector is right here in the hallway in the middle of the hallway. They don't put them too close to the kitchen,
Yeah.
just in case the ventilation fan don't keep up. You don't accidentally set it off. Your table and your chairs is right here on this guy. The table does have a slide out leaf that comes out right here, and then you can slide this guy back up and slide him in to make your table bigger. And then your chairs have got the tie down supports here for travel that keeps them held into place. They put pool noodles over the top of them here so they don't rattle and scuff them up back here. I'll set that back here before I forget it.
So I take it.
And then there is storage underneath your chairs. Yep, it's fastened down. So underneath the cushions of your chairs, you do have storage underneath them that you can put stuff in as well. Your storage little drawers is in here. The little green light down here is where your antenna booster is. To turn the antenna booster on, with the green light on, the antenna booster's on. So you do a local channel search, whatever you get to watch for, pick up for TV, is what you get to watch for television. The antenna is mounted up on the roof. It is a stationary antenna. It don't move at all. It pulls 360 degrees out of the air that way. If you ever hook into satellite or anything, that would be your satellite cord up here. Your cable would come in from down here still to feed the television. You just got to push the button and shut the green light off to let the cable go to the television.
I see what you're saying. So in other words, if you're on cable,
You gotta disconnect it.
yeah.
Turn the booster off
Turn the
so
booster
it don't cancel your cable signal. Yep. There is a switch in here that allow you to close the television down.
Is it good to leave it down while you're traveling?
Yep. Yeah, most people leave it down for travel, and then they just run it back up when they get where they're going. And it goes super fast. Your remote control to your television here. Come to life. And then this is just local television. So, on this guy. Your remote here that turns your radio on and off. Kick your radio on and off. Zone A turns on your speakers just down here. Zone B will do the speakers in the living room and your bedroom speakers. Zone C does your outside speakers. So you can listen to all three zones at once. You can listen just to the outside only, the inside only on that part. You can also Bluetooth into this guy to listen to the live stream, whatever you want to, off of your telephone that way. It has a USB port here you can plug into, or an auxiliary jack you can plug into here for like headphones. It also has an SD card slot over here where you could have a set of music programmed already to put inside of it to listen to. It also is a CD player, and it also is a DVD player. So you can put a DVD in there and watch DVDs on the television.
Cool. Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. Versus the other. So this guy here is to your fireplace right here.
It's the flamethrower.
If I can hit the button. I never can hit the sensor. Very good with them.
Cheater.
So you can turn it. Yeah, I hate them remotes. I never can hit them. So this guy here, the light does not come on inside here to run, but it does make and produce heat. So you can turn it on. That way, if it's going to be a cooler day, and hit your Fahrenheit button over here, it'll tell you how much temperature to set it on. And then your heat side, double zeros would have been just a display mode, but you got low fan and high fan to produce your heat out of here. So it just don't have no color to it.
So it just doesn't, no pretty.
It don't make no pretty.
I'll draw it on there. It'll be alright.
Paint it on there.
Yeah. And as you can feel here, I've turned it on. You can feel the heat coming out of it.
Cool.
So, and it does have a timer over here on it.
Oh, good.
But, whoop, I hit the wrong one. Where'd I hit it? Oh, where's my timer? That'll go non-stop, or you can set it from 1 hour up to 8 hours worth of run time, or just let it run non-stop. And then you have a little storage bin right in here. This guy here is your max air fan, which is right above the kitchen. He works as an exhaust fan, like an attic fan, to suck air out of here and blow outside, or you can reverse him and you can pull air from the inside back in here to cool it down. He automatically push the button to turn him on, he automatically raises up. He's sucking air out right now. You can adjust the temperature up and down by the plus and minus to set him on a temperature setting, so when it gets so cool he'll kick on and off as needed. And then your fan speed up or down right here to make him warmer or colder. This one here does your in and out of your air to let the air rotate from out to in air instead of just sucking it out like I am now. And then if something happens and the batteries do go dead, there is buttons up here you can push to turn it on and off. And you can pull this down and manually turn it to close the vent in case something ever happens. You do have a switch here that turns the light on over above the television. The light above this guy is a push button. To kick him on, yep. I just gotta find him. I know I just looked at him. I just gotta see. There we go. To turn your light on, your dinette on. By the way, the windows here, this window here, you can manually crank it up over on the corner to open this guy. The window will swing out. You can just pop the foam out of there that way so you can have fresh air to come in. That's the first one I've ever seen that they foamed all the windows closed. It's like they didn't want nobody to see in, or they wanted it to try to stay cooler. One of the two.
Probably had it stored this way or something. Keep the
I
sun
figured
out.
to
I'm
keep
figuring it's
or
just for
heat,
storage, yeah.
You know,
Keep it warmer in here.
I don't think it doesn't look like it's been taken
It ain't
out
been
much.
used much. The first switch up here turns this little step light on so you can see your steps. The other one turns the whole hallway light on. This one here runs this room in and out. And it's just like the one down there. When it gets out, hold the button an extra couple seconds just to keep the motors in sync. Your bathroom door slides back and forth across right here and has a button tab that snaps into place here to lock it into place. Your thermostat is right here on the wall. Simply hit the mode button to turn it on and off. So like right now I'm on high fan and on the air conditioner system. The buttons here goes up and down for your temperature. So if I hit the mode button, I can switch it to low fan, automatic fan on the AC side. I can go to high fan or low fan to bring in outside air, or I can shut the system off. To change it from cold to hot, you just hit the system button and it'll switch it down here from cool to heat. Once you switch it to heat, you hit your mode button and that'll go show you gas heat. You want to set it on gas to turn the gas furnace on. It's also got an option for electric heat, because that has got the option where you could add electric heat to that, but it just does not have it.
Doesn't have, so it's gonna have to be gas.
Yep, you're just your gas heat.
So, and that's a different heat system than this one.
Yep, this is just.
This is just like.
Yep, this is just electric thing. So if it's going to get down to like 50 degrees of an evening, you could kick one night. You could kick that guy
Warm
on,
it up a little bit.
and that'll take the chill off the inside of here and keep it warm all night long for you that way. If it's going to get down in the 40s or whatever, you can turn your gas furnace on and set your temp. So if that can't keep up, this will kick on and run, or you can run both at the same time that way. You know, just make your gas go that much farther.
So say we're in Colorado and it drops to 35, drops to 30. Are we all good here?
Yep, you ain't going to freeze and bust a pipe at 30.
Okay.
Yep.
When do we freeze and bust a pipe?
Probably in the 20s,
Okay.
in the upper 20s, 27, 28, where it's going to freeze hard ice.
Okay.
Is what you would consider getting frozen and busted a pipe that way when it freezes hard ice.
Okay.
Just getting down right there at 32, 30 degrees, where you put a little skim ice on, you'll be okay. But anything under that, I would definitely want to winterize so you don't freeze and bust nothing.
Or move, go south.
Yeah.
Go somewhere where it's warmer. That or throw some skirting around the trailer to keep the cold air from blowing under it. So that's something to remember too. If it's 40 degrees outside and you're traveling, your windshield factor is going to be colder. So you'll kind of have to remember if it's going to be 40, you know, try to drain things out best as possible. If it's going to be 40-degree temperature because you're driving down the road at 65 mile an hour, say, your windshield factor is going to probably be having your trailer in the mid-20s.
Yeah, so we keep track of the windshield.
Yeah, kind of keep track of the
So-
temperature that way outside in your windshield factor.
So drain the main water tank, make sure it's empty.
Yep. Your holding tanks, if you can dump them, I'd have the holding tanks empty, your freshwater tank empty.
Now, if there's just a little bit in the bottom, that's not going to
No,
hurt.
it won't hurt.
Yeah.
Like your water heater and your low point drains, you could open all that up and drain that stuff out, and that'll kind of keep everything opened up to where if there is any coolness that way, it'll expand, it'll push the water out rather than hopefully freezing and busting anything that way on your windshield. So
Cool.
they do have a motion light inside the bathroom up here that you can turn on and off. They have your motion light in here, and then there's a switch that turns your main lights on in the bathroom. They've got a cushion here over top of their fan just to keep the daylight from coming in. And then you got your manual crank up fan here for your exhaust fan. And it does have the max air cover over the top of it, so that if it's a drizzly, rainy day, you can still open this up and know what moisture is going to come inside. Or if you forget and leave it open, as you go to travel, it ain't going to tear the vent up as you're going down the road either. So, of course, your stool right here is your regular RV stool. Stick this guy back up in the hole. Gently crack your pedal, and that's going to put water in the bowl. Let off of it when you get your desired amount of water in. Fully press to flush this guy. Of course, with any RV, you want to use RV toilet paper or rapid dissolving toilet paper, and some type of a toilet chemical to help break up the or the waste or anything. Most people prefer the drop-in tablets because they're not as messy and they're easier to handle. You just throw one tablet in here, flush it down the stool, hold the pedal for 1 minute to get a minute's worth of water inside your tank. That'll dissolve the tablet, plus give you liquid in the tank to start using. After your tank gets full and you dump your tank, put another new tablet in there and another minute's worth of water and start all over again.
Okay.
Of course, your sink is right here on the side. You have a little sink stopper that's in here.
Ooh.
So you can have your sink stopper along with your medicine cabinet. All your electrical outlets are protected by a GFI outlet. The GFI reset is right in here on the wall. As long as there's no lights on the GFI, everything's got live power going to it. If you plug something in outside and it don't want to function, come in here. If there's a little light on in here, you're going to see that this has been tripped. Just simply push the button to reset the guy. Yep. Your shower doors is on here. They just slide across and they kind of magnetic stick here. You got the rubber here for the travel to hold them into place. Your shower head up here does have an on and off switch on it. When it's fully to the left, the whole shower head comes on. One click will just turn your center on. All the way to the right side shuts it off on your shower head. With 6 gallon of water heater, you've got 6 to 7 minutes of hot water before your water is going to fizzle. So it's always good to turn your water on and set your temp, jump in and get hosed down. Then you can flip your shower head off that way. Then you can put your soap on and turn it back on to rinse off to conserve your water. That, or you can take a military style shower. Very, very quick. You do have a doorway right here that you can close up. It's got a lock on it for the bedroom, and then, like I say, this one here is just a sliding door that goes back and forth.
So
across.
travel, this needs to be back in there.
Yep, and have your lock on so you don't sit there and bang back and forth. Yep.
Cool.
Your light switch is there on the wall to turn these lights on.
This one?
Yep. That turns your bedroom lights on. And then they've got, like I say, all the plastic stuck in here for this one. That one's actually behind the screen. So if you open that up, you can wiggle and pop that screen out and then take that one out of there as well. Your AC back here is just manual controls. Your temperature here for cold or hot. And then you can just turn him on by flipping him. Whoop, I can't do that. I'm on 30 amp service. I don't want to blow my fuse. I can turn the vent fan on. The left is your vent fan, right is your AC. So I can turn the vent fan on. I've just got it opened up to blow it out here. You can close this up and then adjust these guys here for your air to come out on that part of it.
Do these
These blow your air from down there as well.
down here?
Yep.
Okay.
That's noisy this morning. You have a cabinet up here for storage in here. You also have an electrical outlet down here on the floor. You have a USB charging station there. You have your lights on here to flip on both sides. You also have a push button light on that side that you can push to turn on and off.
This is the only corner I couldn't get to.
The stick back, the paper
Just
stick.
We had one trailer and it leaked like a sieve. And
Well, the roof on this guy looked really good.
did it?
Yeah, the seals all look good. The sealant looked good on it. There was a couple of places we seen a little bit of cracks and voids on the sealant, so we went up there and we resealed all that with new sealant. So it should be in really great shape on that part, on your roof.
Yeah.
The remote control for this television is laying right underneath there. Is where that guy's at. Your bed does lift up here.
For extra storage. Wait a minute, let me get my belly up.
Like I said, I'm going to clamp everybody in there. You can flip that up. You get the storage in there.
That's cool.
They did leave you a screwdriver. They left you a screwdriver in there. So you got a screwdriver. So on that part,
That's nice.
you do got a carbon monoxide detector up here on the wall as well. Your antenna, that is actually your antenna. It is a little shorty. It don't crank up and down, but you can turn that left and right for better signal.
With this.
Yep, right here, the little white box.
Yeah, but I mean, this is just for this.
For that.
Right?
No, that's for all the
Oh, all of
televisions.
them.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's for everybody.
Oh, okay.
I've seen too many units this week. This guy here will rotate this way, so you
Okay.
get better service, one way or the other. That way.
Well, we
if you
don't
need
have
to.
we don't have to worry about leaving it in a particular spot when we go down the road.
Nope, it can stay just like it sits now, and it's fine going down the road. It just spins around. It's only about this tall. It's about a foot tall is all it is.
What's our height up to the top of our antennas? Do you
I
remember?
want to say to the top of the AC up here on the roof on the highest peak, it's like right around 13 foot.
Okay.
That's what your height is.
Okay.
And your storage closet is in here. Goes all the way across.
That's cool. Yeah, I
And
got,
you've got the bar in there for hanging
this
clothes
stuff
up.
that, you know, we'll dig.
And you got your little one in here that opens up. And then your two pull-out storage drawers.
There's quite a bit of storage in here.
And
I'm
this guy.
surprised.
And then your door. Good God. Everybody's bothering me today. Then this guy opens up and slides it.
Oh, it's got it's off
Yeah,
the
he's
track.
he's down here.
He's
on-
off his truck.
He's down here on the bottom. He slid out of his hole. And then that slides across for your privacy. There we go. He got bumped. You want to leave this guy in for travel too, so he don't sit there and bounce back and forth across.
What do we have here?
That is a sensor right there on the wall. So if you didn't have the manual controlled AC, you could actually have an AC put in here that would plumb into that thermostat.
Oh, okay.
And that's the sensor for the thermostat on the AC. So that's what that guy's for.
Okay.
So cool.
Get off my bed.
There is an electrical outlet underneath your table right there on the wall, underneath the table, so you can plug in electricity
that's
there
cool.
if need be.
Okay.
And then there's also one here on this wall as well. So,
That's good.
other than that, that is about the end of the tour.
So, everything checked out. We didn't
Mhm.
have any problems.
Yeah, we didn't have no water leaks on the water side, on the city side, plus on the water pump side. The tank sensors all seem to work and function like they were supposed to. That's a lot of times what we'll see on a used unit that, you'll dump a tank and it'll stay at a third, or it won't go completely and read empty. Sometimes they just get gunk on sensors and it's hard to get it off of there.
Okay, I have a couple questions pulling.
Okay.
Okay. So with this Anderson thing that we're going to have on the back of the truck, neither one of us have ever pulled a fifth wheel.
Okay.
That trailer was never a fifth wheel.
Okay, so like I'm going to use our driveway as an example. We have about it's a standard driveway. But we have probably a 5-foot incline
Mm-hmm.
to a small space. Are there any inclines or positions that we need to worry about? So when we pull up, we start here,
Right.
it goes this way,
About 15.
and then in order to take it off, we're here.
It shouldn't hurt nothing to take it off that way. It won't hurt a thing on your hitch. You'll just have to watch when you're turning in your driveway, when you first start up or down, if you're leaned way over, watch to make sure you're underneath your cap is not going to touch your bedside. We try to set these guys up. They always recommend having this much clearance, the size of my hand up and down between the bedside and that. We always try to make sure we've got at least that much clearance, if not more.
Okay.
The wall for the Anderson that goes in the truck bed is adjustable, so you can raise it up and down on the height and make it taller or shorter, depending on the truck, so it sets up right. And so we always try to set them up where we've got at least a full hand width of room. You know, we try to give 6 inches of room at least between the top, the bedside that way, so it don't ever hit the bedside when you go in a rock over that away or something happens. But yeah, you should be able to back in and out that way and be fine to hook and unhook it that way.
Because we have a concrete platform that the old trailer used to sit on, but I don't think this one will make the angles in the corners. And then the other thing, like, we're almost paranoid because we had such a bad leak and it ruined the camper, you know, that do we put a top over this? Do we store it under cover? What's the best way to handle this?
You know, you can store these guys under roof if possible. Would be good to put them under there. They just keep the sun from beating down on the rubber roof and causing it to deteriorate faster that way. There's also stuff you can buy and treat the roofs with to repel the sun that way, to kind of help keep the roof in better shape that way and keep the UV rays from deteriorating it. But under roof would be, if you could park it under a roof, that would be great to put it under a roof. You just keep the direct sunlight from beating down on it so hard that way. But you don't have to. People have them parked out here and store them out here year round with us, and they sit outside all the time, and it's not no problems. If you did buy a cover, the covers are really tough to put on and off. It takes usually 3 people to put a cover on. And they say everybody that has ever had one and puts them on, they say once they put them on the first time and they take it off, they never put it on again because it's too big a hassle. And I'll have to admit, we have put a few covers on here for storage customers. They've bought them and we've put them on. And you want to have a really calm day if possible, and it takes usually 3 people. Because you got one guy goes up on the roof and starts kind of feeding it all from the front, drops it over the front and feeds it back, and gets it all feeded and kind of tossing it to the sides, and the side guys are taking and getting all the strings and stuff and start pulling and cinching it. Once you get it on, 1 or 2 people can cinch it all down and tie it up tight to keep it from blowing off.
Okay, that answers that. Any other questions?
Yeah, dumb one. Okay, like she said, we've always pulled trailers, all kinds of trailers. What is the difference between pulling this 5th wheel and a regular trailer? Is there any difference? I mean, because I know the center point of turning is here now instead of back here on the back of the truck.
Your ride is going to be lots better with your 5th wheel than what it was on your bumper hitch. You're not going to have the bounce and the jerk and stuff that you had with your bumper hitch compared to this. This will be easier to back and turn in than what your bumper hitch was. It'll just turn and back lots easier than a bumper hitch trailer does.
Okay, well, another question. Turning a corner. I mean, I see people with 5th wheels all the time. Turn a corner, they just go right on around. There's not going to be any... I mean, I know this sounds weird, but I mean, because you're here and you're here. That's what I was wondering about.
Nope. With your 5th wheel, you can just come right, like this is your curve. You can just come right along. You can just follow it around. You don't really have to. It'll go right along with you. You don't have to necessarily, if it's a 90 degree, you want to go just a little bit past towards the center line and then turn. But like on a regular curve, nope, it'll just follow you right around. No problems at all.
Okay, well, I was just curious. I mean,
we'll just have to drive it through town one day.
I can tell you, Leavenworth is a good town up here that I know they have a lot of trees along their sidewalk that hang out. The limbs hang out. So when you go through a little town like that, if they've got, a way to where you can be over a lane, it's best to be over in the outer lane instead of the closer lane to the sidewalk, just to keep the tree limbs from smacking the side of the coach that way as you go through, or hitting on the rooftop that way. Even on a travel trailer, it's that way.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was. You had to watch it.
Yep. We've delivered a few trailers up to Leavenworth to people, and that was the first one I took one up there once. That's the first time I'd ever been through Leavenworth, and as soon as I seen all the trees and stuff, I was like, yep, I gotta stay in the left lane until absolutely last possible moment that I can maybe try to duck over to the right to turn to where I had to go to keep from having any tree limbs smack the side of the coach.
Yeah.
And yep, that's something to kind of remember. And yep.
This one's a lot taller too.
Yeah.
Well, because
the
it's a
fifth wheels
wheel.
are always taller. Your tallest point on your fifth wheel is about where I'm standing. It's kind of the tallest peak, or just behind me, to the right of me, a little bit about the bathroom areas. Here to the bathroom is your tallest peak. Otherwise, your nose kind of drops down and your back slopes down. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm done with my questions. We've harassed him a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, you can harass all you want to. It ain't gonna bother me now. So
I guess now we go talk to Dan the money man.
Go talk to Dan. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the worst part about the whole experience.
Okay.
Going to see Dan.
This is this just for
That's
the island?
Yep, that's just for the
So
island.
if it trips,
Yep.
it's just there.
Yep.
Okay.
And so are we getting are they working on the fifth wheel or the?
Well, they will. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do
For
all
the
that.
truck?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the gal from parts brought my the hitch out here and set it down in the front of it, the triangle part and stuff out of the box. I'll just have to get it all out of the box and mount it, the safety chains and everything, mount everything up and do that. So, yep, I'll have to have them.
Yeah.
Please.
It's a black
It's
black
up
one.
front.
Okay.
And it's got a roll up on the
Okay.
center pole.
Okay.
Both sides.
Okay.
No, it was unlatched both sides.
We'll
Okay.
be in there if you need some. Are we driving this
Okay.
thing off today?
Yeah, you'll take it home today.
Man,
We might come back and get it.
That's
If
fine.
that's okay.
pick it up Saturday because I need to go do some trimming.
Okay, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, we can set the hitch up and get your hitch height and everything set to make sure it's set right for your truck that way, and then we'll get you all set up and done. We'll just unhook from you, and you can go home that way. We'll move it off to the side out here out of the way, and then when you come back and get it, we'll just tell them up front that you're going to come back later in the week or on the weekend and pick it up, and then you can come back and just get it whenever you want to that way. The gate out here opens up like at, I think, 6 o'clock in the morning and stays open till 9 o'clock of the night.
On
Saturday and Sunday both. So you've got all day. And then we're around in service. The service guys are here until 3 o'clock on
Okay.
Saturday, and sales is here, I think, until 5.
Okay, perfect.
So,
One more question. I noticed
Yeah.
when this was ran in,
uh-huh.
you still had a little gap here. It went like flush.
But it wasn't.
Bad or good?
Nope, that's normal because it's going up here. This is just going in and hitting against this rubber seal and just putting a little pressure on it and just barely squeezing this seal to seal the room up.
Okay.
It won't never seal it and push it flat.
Okay.
Yep, that's just because of the way this mechanism is set up. Once it gets here and feels a little bit of pressure in there, it seals it up and locks it down, and the motor won't suck it in any farther.
So if we're going to stay somewhere for a month, should we jack these?
No, you won't have to.
Even on the big one?
Even on the bigger one on that side. Nope, it won't hurt.
Well, there's no weight. Well, there's just weight here. Wow. Okay. Sounds cool.
Okay, cool, wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Let's go give the money away.
Well, Dan maybe won't beat up on you too bad.